All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Bowen here. I'm in the outdoor office, and today I'd like to introduce you to Amy Yamada. So it takes a moment for her to jump on, and always I'm testing out this new idea with different people. So just give me a moment, and we'll wait for her to jump in. Yeah. Also, yeah. Today we're talking about the power of deep connection, and it's something that's a fundamental foundational principle for me. You know, I've often talked about it with my grandma. My grandmother almost made it to 101 years old. At her 100th birthday, she had 160 people there. She had to turn people away, and it was just incredible, you know, what occurred there. And someone's just jumped on, so I'm going to make sure that I can see whoever's down the bottom. Yeah, just bringing them up right now. Cool. Adrian Rosa. Who else we got? Michelle Speck. Good to have you guys here. Just seeing who's jumping on. But we're going to talk about the power of deep connection with superstar Amy Yamada. Now, Amy and I connected a little while ago. She was on someone else's webinar, and I just had that feeling, that knowing to connect with her. That was just before Taj was born. And yeah, we just reconnected today. We thought we'd add some value to our Facebook viewers, so I'm just going to add her up now. We're talking about the power of deep this, and you know, one of my favorite things is introducing people to new things. Just going, cool, I know how to do this. You know how to do this? No? All right, let me teach you, and we'll create it in the flow. Michelle Speck, Zoe Speck, good to have you here. Whoever else is jumping on, it's an absolute pleasure to have you guys here. Give me some hearts if you can hear me. I just want to make sure my sound is good. Sometimes on this particular phone, my sound's not always perfect, but I want to make sure it's crystal clear for you guys to hear. I'll make sure it comes through.
Am I here?
There you go. We got you.
Yay! Hey, Brock.
Boom.
It works. Boom.
So fun.
Awesome.
Technology can be tricky, but yeah, it worked out perfect today. You're looking lovely as always, and yeah, it's so fun. Like, we're just having a chat on Skype before. I wanted to introduce you to this way to share, you know, what you're up to with my friends, and you can share me with your friends. Essentially, that's what we like to do. You call yourself the Queen of Connections.
Well, and actually, it wasn't me who started that. I started getting introduced by people. You know, it's one of those organic things where they're like, nobody does connection like Amy Yamada, or Amy is the queen of connection. I'm like, I can own that. That's cool, you know? So,
yeah, I love it.
So, yeah.
It's the best. So today what we're going to talk about, let's just say hi to everyone. Michelle Speck, Julie Andrews, Zoe Speck. You guys want to check out this woman. And I thought we'd have a conversation today. The topic we chose is the power of deep connection.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's something that I'm super passionate about. I know we talked a little bit about it earlier, and you know, it's something that honestly I never really thought about it until it just again was reflected back to me, you know? Like I love attending like my business masterminds and the communities that I'm in, and people were always asking me like, you're always like connected with the coolest people, and you always seem to attract clients easily and all these types of things. And I said, you know, I just love to connect with people. Like I love the power of connection. And now with, you know, just, I love that we're in this day and age where, as much as I, of course, love being in person, the fact that you and I connected online, right? And got to know each other. And then I have people that I connect with all over the world. And I'm just like, if I can just be me, right? Be authentically me, and also inspire and empower other entrepreneurs to just be themselves, like, it's so much easier, like, just to be yourself, right? And so when I do that, then these types of connections happen. I mean, Brock, I felt like even the first time we chatted, it was like, oh, we need to hang out, you know, like even if it's through Skype, and if we're ever at the same event or something, like, this is the type of person I call a friend, you know? So it's power connection. 100%. Great.
I'm just always curious about that too, that feeling, because literally the first time we had a chat, I had a feeling I wanted to connect with you. We jumped on, and you were talking about a program you're doing, and I was talking about a few things, and that was right before Taj was born. And Taj, people that don't know, is my beautiful son. He's literally almost 8 weeks old now, and it was early in the morning here, but I made the effort to get up early because I really wanted to be there, which is another big thing. You know, if you want to be connected, you got to make the effort. Sometimes getting up super early, I was in the car out the front of the house, and we had this gorgeous conversation, and yeah, I love it.
It's awesome. It's awesome. And then it's like, you get to have friends even all over the world, you know, and sometimes I feel like, you know, I know a lot of us do a lot of online marketing, right? And we talk to people, and one of the things I really always think about myself, and even encourage, you know, entrepreneurs and clients to do, is like, don't ever be attached to one particular outcome of a connection, right? Like you just don't know. And then when you can drop into your heart and just be like, what is the connection I'm feeling here? Is there a connection and what can I do? And with
Mm.
you, it's just like, we just need to be friends. Like we need to be able to, you know, be colleagues, be friends, help each other out, introduce
Yep.
people to people, you know, and it just has been awesome to, you know, stay connected, even though I know we both have a lot going on. And here we are, you know, spontaneously doing this Facebook Live video on for me, a Friday night, for you, a Saturday something or other.
That's
Right?
funny. And I love that you just got to meet my son too, that he's
Yeah.
included in that. And, you know, I'll bring him on Facebook Live at some point so everyone else gets to connect with the little guy. But
Yep.
it's, let's touch on it too with a deep connection, connecting with yourself. Because I sense that the toughest thing for people to do is going, I said it a while ago, I thought I was being myself. You know, a lot of people, you say, just go and be yourself and you'll get the results and all that sort of stuff. And people are like, well, I don't really know who I am.
Mm.
And I think that can be true for a lot of people. People have so boxed themselves into what they do. People have so boxed themselves into how everyone else thinks about them that they don't really have that connection with themselves. So if someone wanted to connect more deeply with themselves,
Right.
because you definitely
Absolutely.
have a wonderful connection with yourself, you feel it.
Absolutely. You know, I think that sometimes it's not about like getting caught up in your head about what, you know, who am I or what is my purpose? It's about going out into the world and having conversations with people and seeing what's being reflected back to you. You know, I see actually Devorah's on here right now. So hi, Devorah. And
Hey,
she's an incredible, you know, storyteller. She's a mentor. We've actually done some work together. She really took me through this like in-story process where it's almost like a guided in-story, like where I got to go back into my life to
yeah,
bring out these stories, not in like a linear, let's put an outline together, but just like really dig deep. And what I
mm,
noticed and what she noticed was that there have been messages throughout my life that have been pointing me in this direction of empowering people when it comes to the power of deep connection and
mm,
giving your vision a voice, right? And so it's like, oh, got it, you know, and whether it's been exciting experiences or painful ones, like it's just, there's, you know, it's like that whole saying of like, you can always connect the dots backwards, you know, that's always clear look when you look back. And I
mm.
can clearly see all these messages and it keeps evolving, you know, I'm not done yet. Like, you know what I mean? So what I would say, even for those of you who this is like, you know, resonating with, is to just really just look at the story of your life. You know, look at the story, like what are those monumental moments or even those small moments where maybe you were alone but you had this like, oh my gosh, I had this just aha moment for whatever reason. And then just look at like what are these parallel, what's the golden thread through all of it? And then ask people like, how do I would love your feedback. How do I
Mm.
show up to you in the world, like in my relationship to you? How do I show up? And please be honest because I want to know, you know. And
Yeah.
it's amazing how it can be reflected back to you, you know.
Mm. I love that. Just even as you went on that conversation, I've had multiple,
Yeah.
and I've come up with this idea calling myself the Lifetarian because
Mm-hmm.
it gives me a lot of freedom. It gives me a lot of space to go and create what I choose. But
Mm-hmm.
one of my careers, I was actually a professional entertainer.
Oh, really? I didn't know
I don't know.
this.
I don't know if I've ever said this. Some of my friends from many years ago would know this. And as soon as I say professional entertainer, a lot of people think exotic stripper or something, but it wasn't that.
Okay, so what was it? What did you do?
I used to do stage shows and kids' parties,
Oh, fun.
and particularly superheroes, because I believe that we're all superheroes. And
Yeah.
it's fun. I often talk about superhero amplification and helping people share their message and so forth. But when I was working as a superhero, I had a few instances of this where I was actually there and I'd just done a kids' party. So I'd run around for an hour and a half as Batman or whichever character I was choosing to be. And, uh,
Uh-huh.
and I'd literally have dads come up to me at the end of the party. And these are guys who are super multi-millionaires with houses bigger than, you know, 5 other people's houses put together. They had everything that money could buy and life could buy, but they would come up to me at the end of the party and they would say this to me: Brock, you seem to have a connection, a sense of freedom, something different that I've never seen before. What's that all about? And we'd sit down and we'd
Mm-hmm.
have a conversation about it. And like you described, that whole life journey, just
Mm-hmm.
there's little clues, there's just little alignment principles or little things that pop. But the magic for me now is I just love bringing that out. With myself, of course, but bringing that out in other people. Seeing that experience, even with doing this today, it's so fun to get with your friend and share with your friends online on Facebook and have these resources that didn't even exist 10 years ago. It's magical.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I have a question for you, Brock. When you're talking about like, because I love this kind of stuff, like the superhero amplification, can you give us
Mm-hmm.
a little teaser on how, like if you were working with me, for example, and you're like,
Yep.
Amy, let's amplify your superhero-ness, right? Like
Yeah, sure.
what would you take me through? I would want to know.
Oh yeah, for sure. Happy to. So different things. First, we want to know, well, what are you all about? So we
Well,
want to
that's a
know,
big
like,
question, right?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
all different things. I like to know people, not just what they're doing in terms of their business and brand. I want to know,
Yeah.
what did you have for, I want to
What did you
know,
have? What?
I want to know, what did you have for breakfast? I want to know, what kind of coffee do you like? I want to know, do you work out? What are the things that you're really into? I want to know those things. I want to know, like, exactly, if I was to ask you what you were doing on this day 10 years ago, what was happening? And I love that,
Yeah.
diving deep into the juice of people's lives, asking them about their parents, asking them about their life story, asking them about what they were like as a kid. And I'll get deeply connected to that because I find, like you were talking about with the story, I find as I go on this little journey, I just get these little pieces of wisdom. And somehow, as I go through that conversation, sometimes it takes 5 minutes or 6 minutes. But sometimes it takes weeks. Sometimes it takes months. But all of a sudden, I just notice something that's so special and so unique and so magical and enchanted about someone
Mm-hmm.
that it just has to be shared or amplified. And then in the process, I look and I go, well, cool, now I know that person intimately. I
Mm-hmm.
know that sometimes I feel that, sometimes you can know someone deeper than they know themselves. You start to really get connected with people. And I know when years ago, younger, it was almost weird, how deeply you could just know someone without knowing them. You could just know
Mm-hmm.
these little things. Sometimes what I love to see is those things that we hide from the world are the things that are the most enchanted. Things that we're not ashamed of necessarily, but I can't put that in my brand because it's not professional. Let's put a bit more
Mm-hmm.
of that in there.
I
And
love that. Yeah.
then we look at the brand, then we look at the mission, then we look at the results the person wants to create. And essentially, I've got a lot of connections. Different people around the world we can do some stuff with, and be that from podcasts to media outlets to just different cool people, some of the world's biggest wave surfers, stuff like that. Just these people that showed up on my magic carpet of life as I went on these adventures. And I feel very fortunate that with one phone call, I can connect you up with someone.
Right.
Sometimes I've done things before where you might think it's going to take you a year and it's taken 20 minutes. But that's from doing it over and over and over and over again. And then we look at that. Then I start to look energetically. So I start to look at people energetically and I see things in people's auras, in people's energy fields. And I start to look at that, just play a little bit, get my hands sometimes. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, what's that? What's that? Just have a little bit thing, get curious. And then I invite people to expand. And some of you guys watching might feel that. Some of you might not. What I love to do is invite people to energetically expand a little bit. And there's this natural genius that comes through with people in that flow state.
Mm-hmm.
Tap into that. That's the conversations I want to listen to.
Mm.
And essentially for me, when I ask why do I do this, because when I get on the podcast or the media or the different things, where what we've done as entrepreneurs is we go, well, this is what worked in the media, so we're going to do this in our career.
Mm-hmm.
And we get things, we're like, welcome to this. We're doing whatever it be, and it's just people have lost that thing of being themselves. People lost that magic and the enchantment. I want to bring more of it back and amplify it. And if I can find those things and go, Ellen, you see Ellen DeGeneres on TV. She is the biggest
Yeah.
dork in the history of dorks, and she's amazing. I love her. Like getting up, doing her stupid dance moves.
I love it. I know. I actually got to
More
be
of
in
that.
her audience like in the fall of last year, and the energy in that studio was like, I felt like I was at a party with all my friends, It was so epic. I mean, she really is who she is on TV in person, It's just like the coolest person. It was
Just the
great.
best. And
Yeah.
so that's what, like in terms of preparing people for things, it's working like what's holding you back? what are the areas that we need to refine and clarify, but also
Yeah.
encouraging people to be an invitation.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have to just give a shout out right now. One of my best friends, Eduardo Kawam, just joined our Facebook Live video. Hey, hola, Eduardo. And
Who's here?
Eduardo, this is Brock. So I just want to give a
Hey.
shout out because Eduardo, talk about a magical carpet ride, right? Like, Brock, you and Eduardo need to become like BFFs. So Eduardo is someone that I met years ago, like when he lived up here in Seattle, right? Now he's in LA, and he had this vision and dream of creating something called Metropolitan Fashion Week. And
Wow.
he had great experience in his background, but he really just started with a vision, right? And he was very connected with it, and he just decided that this is what I'm committed to doing. And then he reached
Yeah.
out to me and a number of other people to help out with it. You know, we just had that connection, and we're like, I was so enrolled in him and his vision and his dream. I was like, yeah, I'll help out any way I can. And even the first year of it, we had this extremely amazing like experience with it. It wasn't just a runway show; it was an experience, you know. And so fast forward to today, and it's expanded to Hollywood. The last 3 years, we've been at Warner Brothers Studios. So
Fun.
I'm still involved with the event, where I get to be one of the hosts of the event and wear these gorgeous gowns and things like that. But he's got like 300 media outlets covering every event. He's got so many followers. He's on TV every week. I mean, he's just one of those people who's got the biggest heart. He always gives back to charities, and he's created an experience. Like we have celebrities showing up at the events. It's this big Hollywood thing now, but it's so genuine. Like, it's a genuine, heart-centered. Everyone's just respectful and kind and loving. And so anyway, I just wanted to share that with you because that's what it's all about, right? Like, it's what the superhero amplification. It's deep connection, right? Like, what I love to do is really think about, like, if someone is not living their passion and their purpose, and sometimes, like you said, sometimes they don't even know what that is, then we get to really dig deep and really find out what that is. You know, I bet you and I could even do a training together at some point and just like really fire them up, right? Bring out the best and then illuminate them and see what's possible. And so for me, it's like really conveying, like, how are you not only connecting with yourself and your vision, but how are you also having that strong, unique, beautiful, authentic message that lands with your audience, right? And like you said, it's not about like, hi, my name is Amy Yamada and blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, just be real, like, be yourself and don't worry about, like, this is not scripted. Like, we said, what's the topic? Okay, the power of deep connection, go, right? Like, let's just go, like, let's have fun with it and just see what happens and like help people out and inspire and get to know each other better even and see what's up, right? And I mean, okay, so here's the thing too, is that I believe that when you have a vision and a mission or an idea, it's just about deciding, right? So what I love about you, Brock, is, when we were having our Skype one-on-one conversation prior to this, you were telling me about this like really epic retreat that you're planning. So do you want to just share? When I visualize anything that's a retreat and includes Bali or beautiful places, I'm like drooling, I'm like, oh my God, tell me more, right? So tell us about what you're doing with that.
We'll say, you notice that I move around a lot on camera? It's because my body gets happy. I'm sitting to get happy. My feet are doing a little happy dance. It's hilarious. Yeah. We've got Bali retreat coming up in July, and some of the people that are on this call are coming to that. And I'm so grateful, so fortunate. I put that together with another guy, Chris Jackson, literally a guy who I was fortunate to coach 2.5 years ago. And I wrote down in my magic book, I'm ready to do some crystal clear, cashed up collaborations, and I'm feeling called to do more retreats. My phone rings. Chris calls me up. He goes, I want to run retreats, the best on the planet. And I can't think of anyone else I'd rather do them with but you. Are you interested? Guess what I said?
Woohoo!
I stung him for a little bit. I said, you know what, man? Let me think about it. I was 1,000% committed, 1,000% yes. I just wanted to play with him a little bit. And then I said yes. I said, let me think about it. Let me see what I have on. Then like, bang. I just knew I had to do it with him. That's amazing. That's in July. And yeah, taking people on a transformation, which is exciting. The next one, we're doing a surf one in September, which is amazing, doing those different things. But with Chris, Chris was fortunate. He went and attended another event, another retreat. And he met one of the guys who was part of Mercedes-Benz. And met the guy. The guy's amazing. And said, Chris, I love what you do. Can you do something for me and my team? And Chris didn't try and pitch him on price. He didn't try and come up with everything. He just said well, what's your budget? literally, this was the conversation he had. Probably took 5 minutes in a serviette in the flow. He
Yeah.
said, "What you buy?" The guy came back and said, "Well, we've got this much." I don't know if I'm able to say it publicly how much they paid, but I can ask Chris about that later. But they paid a fancy sum. Chris was stoked, and now he did that for 10 people. Now they've got a team of 30 people, and we've come up with this idea. This is the one we touched on before. The best school camp ever, or for our American friends, summer camp. Best school camp ever for adults, for big kids. And Chris's dad just so happens to have a 400-acre property in Tasmania in a wilderness section. It's magical, beautiful. And I just started seeing, like, literally putting these grown men together in bunk beds for the first couple of days. So because it's all about team building. Put them together in bunk beds, sleeping bags, kind of roughing it.
Yeah.
Then we take them out into wilderness, so they go for a hike and they get out and they get connected. Because when you get out in nature, I recommend 55 minutes a day in nature. It makes you more beautiful. You feel amazing. It's the best thing ever. I need to go again later today.
Yeah.
And with these guys, we'll put them in the bunk beds. Then we'll take them out to nature. Then we'll bring them back to the most magnificent, beautiful space where they're getting pampered. They're getting massages. They're getting the whole experience. And that's what Mercedes-Benz gives you. Like that pitch? It's actually like that's the Mercedes-Benz experience. You can drive any car, but you get into a Mercedes-Benz, when you close the doors, it's beautiful. When you put your hands on the steering wheel, it's beautiful. And we want to bring the team building, bring the connection, and also make it aligned to their brand. So that's when we're actually going to pitch it. It's going to happen in the next, I reckon we'll know in the next 1 to 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's so awesome. It's so funny that you're talking about these retreats, because years ago I hosted these retreats for women in the Palm Springs area with my dear friend Katie Wygant, and they were really great. And we did a handful of them, and they were magical and all of that. And then we both kind of focused on our online businesses. And while it's been great to really expand online, and I know we talked a little bit about this earlier, is that it's just not the same as the in-person experience, right? And so while I do some things in person, I had this idea recently, so I want to run this by you, and also those of you who are watching this, like, I just like feedback, right? To see like if people would be interested in something like this. So I don't have this as an offering just yet, but just a couple of weekends ago, I decided spontaneously on a Friday to book a room at this resort in Woodinville, Washington. So I live in the Seattle, Washington area, and Woodinville's like Woodinville wine country, right? It's not far from Seattle at all, but there's a place called Willow's Lodge, and it's just gorgeous and luxurious, and yet it's got it's like, it's got a spa, it's got, you can walk around these gardens, and it's just got this ambiance I absolutely love. So I thought, you know what, I have some really important work to do in my business. I've got really cool things I'm working on, and I just would love to be in this space that really excites me. Like, I love my home office, and I love working from home, and I travel sometimes and all that, but it's like, if I could just go somewhere and just be in my own like luxurious space that's also inspiring, and do my own work retreat, imagine what I could do. And they also allow you to bring your dog. So I have my dog, she's probably in here somewhere, maybe she's out in the hallway. Anyway, so I brought my dog with me, right? So my point is, I got so much done while I was there, and I took a lot of breaks, and I would take a nap and go for a walk, or go into the fitness center, or sit in the jacuzzi outside. So my point is, while I was there, I got this idea. I thought, you know what if I hosted like a destination work retreat that had a blend of adventure and work, right? Because I know a lot of my entrepreneurs are like, oh my gosh, I have this big webinar I want to create that's really juicy and makes a difference and has a great call to action. Or I want to, create a new online marketing funnel. It just takes time to think about every piece of it and crank it out. Or I want to create my own event, and I want to just go somewhere beautiful like Hawaii or Fiji for like a week with a bunch of cool entrepreneurs. So I just wanted, I want to get some feedback to see from those of you who are watching right now, or watching the replay of this, like, is that something that would excite you? Like, to go with a group of people, whether it was a small group or a bigger group, but we would all either, if it was, depending on the size of the group, we could get a house on the beach, or we could stay at the same resort. Like, I was recently at Turtle Bay Resort on Oahu on the North Shore, where it's like all surf town, and then we could just like break for like different work sessions, and then come back together, and then go on an adventure, you know, go hiking somewhere or go for a walk on the
Yep.
beach and then go out to dinners at night. So I just want to see like, yeah, I'm seeing some posts here. So, oh yeah, so Taz is asking about your retreats and how much will they cost. So you can talk to her about that. Just want to
Yep.
say hi to Linda and John and Michelle and my fan is from this, Michelle. So anyway, my point is, I just get excited about ideas like that, you know, like they could be
I love it.
super
Let's
fun.
map it
Yeah.
out. Let's play with
What's
it.
that?
Let's play with it. Look at it too. This is what I look at with things. You know how you've got kinesiology where you can muscle test things? Have you ever done that
Yep.
before?
Yep.
So I start that feeling about things. Do I go, is it a weekend? Is it 48 hours? Is it 72 hours? Is it 5 days? Is it 10 days? And start to feel the energy of it. And I imagine that's the process with musicians. You know, when they create, you know, when you get those Michael Jackson songs that give you goosebumps?
Yep.
We've obviously got pop music that you know it's going to be a #1 hit because they've got the formula for it.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jackson. Then you get Prince. Then you get these artists that will remember forever. Then you get Coldplay. Then you get, you know, U2, different bands that it's just, the Beatles, I guess, is another one too. And that's what I'm looking at. Like, what was that space that they were creating it from? So when we
Yeah.
look at it, what's the magic amount of days that you're going to go away that keeps it sharp? Is it 3 days, 5 days, 7 days?
Yeah, I think, okay, let me feel it out. I think the number that comes to me is 5.
Yeah, cool. Put your hand up, 5. Give me 5.
Yes, high five.
Boom. It's fun too, just exploring it, like just in the creation of it.
Yeah.
Because something I've been looking at lately is if you love it so much, then you've been an invitation. Because that's what I've essentially based my business around now. And I'm happy to say this publicly. I get paid to do things I gladly do for free. That's why I'm good at it. I'd love to. Like just so many of these things. I love it. I'm so fortunate these clients love paying me and I get them amazing results or they get themselves amazing results as we go through the process of working together. And it's the best. Like Michelle, Speck, and Zoe, they're coming across to the retreat in Bali. And some of the experiences on that have been phenomenal where that's, you know, $5,500 event. And it's investment. And I love that they've done that. You know, we've literally had people paying for other people to come to that event.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about, like that magic carpet experience of generosity where it starts to, just almost has this whole energy of its own. It just wants to like, hey, everyone, come play.
Yeah. It's
100%.
so great. I love that. I love that. It's so genuine. It's also like when you're talking about people helping others out to come, it's like this act of generosity and kindness, you know, it's just very authentic and it becomes less about this like sale and clients. It's just like, let's just do this, you know, like I'm committed to you. Like, I feel like you have this energy too. Like when I talk to my clients, they know this, like I'm so committed to my clients and my community and my audience. Like, I just want to help you, you know, and they'll even say like, sometimes if they're just like, oh my gosh, I'm stressed out about something. I'm like, well, what are you doing tonight? Let's jump on a call. You know, like they become like my extended family, you know? And you know how you're saying like how sometimes people are so stiff and so perfect. And like, and I used to, you know, I came from the corporate world. I came from the media and I thought I had to be a certain way when I started and I started to shed the layers and I'm just like, you know what, I'm just going to be me. And and I, you know, there's times when I'll like get off the phone with the client. I'm like, love you too. And it's very like, it's normal. It's like family, right? It's like, love you. Or, oh my gosh, if you're here, I'd give you a huge hug. Like, I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited for you. And they ask me about my life too. They're like, well, how are you doing? What can I, when my clients ask me, Amy, what can I help you with? I'm like, oh my gosh, like you're my client.
Oh.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, so I just love that because it's just like, screw the whole, like, you know, like how things have to be, you know, it's just like, how about I just be me and there's not enough love and compassion in the world. If I can't say I love you to a person, it's like humanity. Can't we just love each other? Like, can't we just be loving individuals and stand for each other's visions and collaborate, help each other out? Like, I just love these types of conversations because I just like, just screw the rules, you know, just like let go of what you think you should be doing or how you're supposed to show up or try to look like somebody else. Just be you, you know, like I just get to be me. And if somebody doesn't like it, that's okay. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be loving, I'm going to be compassionate. And I love connecting with people. That's anyway, I'm going off on a rant now.
That's why we got onto the deep connection. But Michelle, since she's on the call, one of my favorite moments with Michelle, one was when I first met her. She found me through a funnel. I called her up and she jumped in. I didn't pressure her into it. She goes, I'm in. Whatever you do, Brock, I love it. And we had a time when I was down maybe 4 hours away from my house, and I knew that I had an opportunity to catch up with Michelle, and it took me about an hour to drive there. We had about 45 minutes together, maybe an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and then an hour to drive back. And that was on
Yeah.
a day I had a lot on, but I knew that was a priority. And I did that, and we literally went out. I did this empty session with her where I put my hands on her head and did a few things, and it started pouring rain. Like, I had this mat down on the ground in the park, and I had a pillow, and then the rain just came down. Ridiculous. We got so soaked, I had to throw out one of the pillows and one of the other things. It was probably, as these pillows I bought a while ago, I think I paid $300 for them. So like,
Yeah.
like real pillow. But just like, will I remember that in 5 years? It was the best. Like, Michelle, I will remember that moment forever. You know, one of my other guys at the moment, I go surfing with him. And literally the other day he asked me, before our session, Brock, can I help you to go and actually, we're going to pick up some organic vegetable matter so you can build your vegetable garden, the one I showed you just before.
Yeah.
That same day, though, he picked up two new clients and one existing client. While we're hanging out, this is the thing, like, if we can all get into that space of love and flow and connection, superhero amplification, that's what I'm up to with Carl Lipton. He jumped on the call before too. It's what we do. The more we can get people in their natural genius or essence or creativity, something just drops in. Some piece of the puzzle just clicks into place, and then it just goes.
It's with ease. It's with abundance. It's with ease, right? It's just about like being in that flow and not really stressing out about it. Like, I think sometimes, I know I've been that person, right? Like, I'll just be straight up, like, where I would get caught up in my head and so attached to the result that I would attach my worthiness to the result. And it really wasn't until I went to a training where they said, Amy, they're like, you're worthy if you achieve the goal, and you're worthy if you don't achieve the goal, and you're going to be fine. Like, it's going to be great. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I've been carrying this burden on me, you know, in my head that's like, if I don't achieve the goal, you know, I suck at this, you know, or whatever. And it's like, no, like, if I just am me, like, just stop it. So I just got to really quiet those rackets that were going on in my head that just were really, you know, holding me back. And now I feel like I just get to connect with people like you and the people who are watching right now. Michelle's just saying the sweetest things. Thank you, Michelle. You're such a sweet person. I want to connect with you. What's that?
Give her an air hug.
Okay. This is the air hug.
I do my webinars now. I give all the guys hugs and stuff.
For hugging Michelle.
And everyone else. Everyone watching, everyone who's known. We're happy to give you hugs. I love hugs. They're the best.
The hugs are the best. I don't understand when people are like, oh, I don't like people touching me. I'm like, well, you need to learn how to, like, I don't get it. Somebody needs to explain it to me, because I'm like, I'm one of those people, if I meet you for the first time, like, I'm like, I will introduce myself as a hugger. Actually, on my Facebook page right now, one of my titles is professional hugger.
For real?
I give great hugs. I think I'm the best hugger. Somebody can compete with me. It's like that movie Elf where he's like, I love hugs, you know?
We're getting,
hey, Ken.
we're getting hugs back too.
Yay, awesome. That's the love of my life, by the way. So I'm not afraid to say it. That's Ken. Hi, Ken. Ken meet Brock. Brock meet Ken.
Hey,
What's
Ken.
that?
Ken was the gentleman we were talking about before. The boyfriend?
Yes. And his kids. Yep. I was talking about him. Oh, I'm all like flushed now that he's on here. This is a spontaneous video. I'm like, oh, yay. That's so awesome.
So good.
Yeah.
Easy.
So great. So what's that?
I was just going to say with it too, like, being in that energy is magical, but then also looking behind all this stuff. Something I had to share with people before was the awareness with the connection. Because I remember my previous business, the reason I love organic vegetables so much, for 4 years I had myself, a business partner, and a team of 4 people, and we used to do the best organic food markets ever. We just had bongo drums and smoothies, and it was so fun. But at the same time, behind the scenes, we had spreadsheets, we had particular customers in mind. We're very, very, very connected to our craft. Very particular about the details. So that's what I always like to drop back into, with that connection to yourself. I know for myself, when I forgive myself about those things, then I'm very clear. Because if you're going to run a world-class retreat, got to be clear on the numbers, but be done with love. That can be done with connection, everything else. So having that element of both the joy, the genius, and then going, cool, how does this look tangibly as well? And sometimes it looks impossible, but you got to do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I love those moments. Like, you know, when you just know stuff.
Yep.
Mm.
You feel it, right? You feel it when you just feel like this is something that I'm meant to do.
Mm.
This is something that I'm going to show up for. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to rock it out. And even if it seems impossible, like, who cares? Like, I always think about like my 93-year-old self of myself, right? Like my 93-year-old self is going to look back and like, if I'm making a decision about something, for example, right? I think to my 93-year-old, I don't know why 93, but my 93-year-old self, she's really wise and fabulous, right? She's like, Amy,
I'm just
like,
picturing you now at 93. It's fun.
I think I'll still be doing videos. So, right. So yeah, my 93-year-old self would like say, Amy, like, you know what you needed to do, just go do it and stop worrying about it, because even if you fall down, you're going to get back up and you're going to learn. So get over yourself, stop being all in your head and just do it. Just do it. You know, I'm like, okay, older Amy. So it lets me like let go of any mind chatter, or, you know, if loved ones are like, oh, I don't know if you should do that. And well, my friends and family now know that if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So they know better. But you know what I mean? Though it's just like, if there's something you want to do, just do it, you know, and don't be afraid. And so, yeah, actually, I have to give a little shout out. Can I do that right now? Okay.
I'm going to shout
so
out next. Shout this person out first.
What's that?
You can shout one out, then I'm going to shout someone out. Let's go.
Okay, so Ken's daughter. Okay, so Ken's daughter is 10 years old. Okay, her name's Josie. And when she was 7 years old, what's that?
Everyone say, hey, Josie.
I know, hey, Josie. I don't know if she's watching right now, but I'm sure she'll watch this later. But my point is, she, at the age of 7, started to raise money to build wells in Africa, in Ghana, okay? Wow. So at the age of 7, she started this Josie's Well charity and partnered with Water Access Now. And at the age of 8, she really got into it, and she raised $10,000 US to build a well in Africa, and it was built last summer, okay? And then this summer, she has a goal of building 2 wells. So she's raising her goal is $20,000. And I just have to say, like, she's so inspiring to me, because she's someone who, like, just doesn't even think about limitations, right? I mean, she just is like, well, I can't believe that there are kids in Ghana. She's like teaching me about the children in Ghana and how they have to walk miles to get this water that's not even safe. And she's like, why not do this? So my point of bringing this up is that she connected with a vision herself, right? We're talking about connection today. She connected with a vision once she learned that there were children her age that couldn't even go to school because they need to walk to get water that's not even safe. And she's like, well, I need to do something about this, you know? And she's already recognized. So I just, you know, I worked with her at a water stand last weekend, and I just watched her talk to people about this. And my point is, like, if you have a vision, right? All you're watching, if you have a vision that's bigger than yourself, that's giving back to the world, that's thinking outside of yourself and what you need, then just decide. You know, if an 8-year-old and now a 10-year-old girl can raise $20,000 to build wells in Africa, like, what are we doing, you know? So, oh, Josie's watching. Hi, Josie. Everybody say hi, Josie.
I just knew that she'd be here. I just had that feeling.
You felt it, right?
Yeah. I just knew. Josie, you're amazing.
Isn't she? Yeah, so I want to definitely get her on some interviews. Maybe you and I can both do interviews so that, you know, we can really help her to her goal, because it's a really big goal this summer of $20,000. But I know with the power of connection, we can help her do this. And then she can set an example for people everywhere that if you have a goal and a vision, if you have a connection to this vision and helping and making a difference in the world, you can do it. All of us can do it. And if we stand stronger together, then of course it's going to happen more, you know, efficiently. That's my point. So, yeah.
I have it too. Like, as you touch on vision, in the back of my mind in everything that I do, it's looking at how do we have clean water. I deliberately, every time I do one of these webinars, I'm deliberately drinking water out of a glass bottle.
Yes.
Every single time.
Cheers.
Every time you see on one of these, cheers. I'm deliberately modeling that because I think it's good for people to see it. And we don't often drink enough water. We don't have. So I'm always looking at how can we have more clean water. Then how can we have That's why farming makes sense. That's why helping people activate purposeful projects makes sense to me. All those different things. And then, so if I look at my work, even though I do a lot of projects, it's all leading to creative vision, and hearing these young people, you know, it's hard to be an entrepreneur soon, 8 weeks old, almost. You can start a business in a couple of weeks.
Totally.
But we do,
so awesome.
we definitely do overcomplicate things. So I guess that's another thing in terms of that deep connection, is how do we simplify what we want and then bring it forth to the world?
And that is a good one. You know, I think that, so for me, I know that I will admit again, I always just share transparently, like I used to juggle so many things and get caught up in my head about what I could or could not do. And it wasn't until I took a step back, looked at the big picture of my life and thought, okay, if I really want to make a difference, then I get to pick like one primary area and just go the distance with it, and not be afraid, you know, not let anyone tell me that I can't, not be afraid of the obstacles, just decide that this is my vision and I'm committed to it, and embrace the journey, trust the process. Right. And so, so for me, it was about making a list of all the things I was doing, because I was juggling 10 different things, and then thinking, okay, which ones of these am I letting to let go of, or at least step back from a little bit, so that I can have some focus and clarity. And I always think of, Brock, have you seen the show Shark Tank? You know Shark Tank?
Yeah.
Love that show.
Earlier, actually, it's amazing.
It's amazing, right? So in the US with Robert Herjavec, I always tell the story to my clients too. So there are these two entrepreneurs that were pitching the sharks with like asking for an investment, right? And there were just these two women that were kind of all over the place, you know, just kind of, you know, just excited, but all over the place. And Robert Herjavec, who's just like one of my favorite sharks, he said, ladies, he's like, what is the #1 rule of Shark Tank, right? And they said, oh, know your numbers? You know, they were guessing some answers, and whatever they were guessing was not right. He said, nope. And he said one thing, he said, laser-like focus. Laser-like focus. And I grabbed my notebook and pen and I was like writing it down, because I knew I was meant to hear that particular statement, because I was busy in my head and not focused at all. And I thought, no wonder why I'm not really making it yet in business, you know, at that time, because I don't have focus. I'm all over the place and my head is spinning. So that, okay, clearly Robert Herjavec knows what he's doing, right? So that I get to choose to have laser-like focus. And then once I did that, you know, that's when things started to take off. You know, I just got connected in, you know, focused on my vision, believed in, this is the other key thing, believing in yourself. Like, you can try any strategy under the sun, and if you don't believe in yourself, then that's the inner work that needs to happen, you know? So it's really important.
That self-belief is huge. You know, when I've researched, like with my clients, but also with just general research around entrepreneurs, the biggest thing holds us back is we're worried about, what are my family going to think? What are my friends going to think? If I do go bankrupt, if I do miss out on whatever it happens to be, if I do end up maxing my credit card, if I do whatever the worst case scenario is, lose my house, whatever it happens to be, and then we don't actually go for our dream. But now, even looking at one of my over in Thailand now, he went bankrupt. He lost his parents' house. Can you imagine that?
No.
Lost his parents' house, went bankrupt. Now he's over in Asia. He's like just left the country because he just probably had a bit of shame and just wanted to get away for a bit. And now he's pumping it. He's got Jew stuff going on in one country, another country. I think 3 countries at the moment. And I've had plenty of highs and lows in terms of what I've been doing. And that thing, like when we get caught up with confidence or the shame or the blame or the different things, and then we end up in this whole cognitive bias or groupthink of, I just want to be like everyone else, so I fit in this particular box.
Right.
And that works thousands of years ago when we're in the tribe, because then we didn't want to go too far away. You get eaten by a dinosaur, perhaps, or a tiger. But now we're pretty good. And we've still got that program in our brain. I'm always looking at that too. You know, rap guys talk about it. To hit the flow state, they literally have to switch that gives themselves permission, which is deciding, committing, choosing to actually fully express in whatever we're doing. And once we do, I've always seen with everyone, magic happens. Momentum happens. Shit happens. It's the best thing ever.
Absolutely. Yeah. It almost feels like you're just channeling it, or you just feel like in this real, like, I think of it like, anytime I've had the opportunity to speak on a stage, I mean, I've definitely done like a lot of public speaking in terms of emceeing and hosting, but I've gotten to, I've started to dabble in like really true like speaking engagements on live stages. And there was one that I did last fall called the Ultimate Stage Experience. I think I told you about it in La Jolla, California. And I had like the second half of my talk just really dialed in. Like I was taking people through an experience with music and connection, and it was really like I felt solid about that. The first part, I felt like leading up to literally when I was walking to the stage, and I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like I trusted myself. I know I'll figure it out. I knew what I had in my head, but it just didn't feel aligned. And I thought, okay, I'm just gonna drop in. I'm gonna trust myself. This audience is a loving audience. And I'm gonna do the best that I can to make a difference for them, right? So it wasn't about like how many people can sign up for my email list or how many sales will I make. It was like, how can I connect with this audience and make the biggest difference for them?
Yeah.
And literally on my way to the stage, like they'd done this video, I was part of this film documentary, so they showed a clip of this film documentary inspired by 11. And so I'm walking up the stage, they're like, welcome to the stage, Amy Yamada, people are clapping, and I'm like, I hope they think I'm good, So I walk up to the stage, right? And it hit me, the idea, because what I had that was like laid out for the second half, like the main part of my talk that I was going to bring this experience, because I was like, oh my gosh, it's all about connection and growth. And I had this analogy of the trees, right? So I was thinking about how the tallest trees in the world are the redwood trees, right? And there's the tallest tree in the world is like 380 feet. So it's just something ridiculous. I had an image of it. And you would think that the roots would go like way deep into the earth, but instead they go about 6 feet down and then about 100 feet out, and they wrap their roots around other trees' roots so they can stand stronger together, right?
Snuggles!
Right? I was just like, so I used that as like, that was part of like the part that I planned out, because I was thinking about how amazing that was when I learned about this fact about trees. How beautiful is that, right? They stand stronger together, and I think that's how humanity should be, right? Yeah, so thanks for the hearts and the love. And so when I walked up to the front at the beginning, I had everyone hold out their hand. And I said, okay, pretend that you have a little seed in your hand, right? And this is your seed. This is your idea. This is your purpose, your mission. And I had them stand up in a power stance and drop that seed into the ground, because by the end of this presentation, everyone will have grown. And it just, I allowed myself to just be in that flow, like that state that you're talking about, like, just let the idea come to me, and please let me just deliver something that's going to land with people. And so they did. And then they dropped into the ground, and then I sat down and I started with my talk, and I connected with the audience, and I took them through this experience. And it was one of the best days of my life, because I just allowed myself to go where I needed to go to connect with the audience and make a difference for them. And afterwards, speaking about hugs, like I was in a hug line. Like everyone was giving me hugs. They were hugging each other. There was so much love. And I was like, this is the best day ever, And I just loved it. So anyway, I just wanted to speak into that. Just like that feeling you get, just like, okay, I'm in this flow. It's all good. Everything's going to work out because I trust myself. I'm doing what I came here to do, So.
I love those trees too.
What's that?
I love those trees as well, like the metaphor, but also those actual trees is being deep in the forest. Said it before, but for the guys that just jumped on, 55 minutes a day or more in nature. Just get out there, get more connected. I want to do a round two of this another time, because I do have to go and snuggle my boy. I've got some people coming over the house soon, and I know you're crafting out some videos and getting that organized, but I do want to make it available too. It's fun. We have these connections. I want you guys, if you feel drawn to it, connecting with Amy. She'll have some time for calls, but not much. We've got a lot of stuff on at the moment. I did it the other day. I usually like to offer people the first 5 people to jump in and connect. Take the time, but just connect. I don't think I need to offer that way. Doesn't feel like I need. Just if you feel to connect with Amy, jump on and connect with her. If you feel to connect with me, jump on. If you have any questions about today, ask me specifically, put it in comments, or send me a message. Comments is better, because then everyone gets to see it. And I need to come up with a better metaphor about responding to emails and messages, because I love everyone that messages me and emails me, and I do my best to get to them all. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys that, sends the messages. But yeah, nice to meet you too, Ken. I'll see you soon, my brother. You've got amazing lady in your life. And I always, when I appreciate people, I always reach out to them and I expand my energy field out so it blesses them. Because that's my metaphor, like the trees. If we all start blessing ourselves, our community, and humanity together, we're so fortunate. We're so blessed. And it just works. So if you guys feel to connect with us, we've obviously got a whole lot of different things we're up to. Give us some more insight about retreats. Where would you love to go onto a retreat? I reckon I get a sense we're going to do something together. I wonder what it is.
Yeah, we should collaborate on something. We both have a lot of good connections, and I think there's gonna be something in person, something in a beautiful place, and we'll bring some great, we'll bring all our loved ones and like just have a powerful experience that will be unforgettable. Like one of the things that I'm doing this program with Jesse Itzler, who's an incredible like billionaire entrepreneur and so inspiring. But my point is, he's all about creating your life resume so that when you look back on your life, like we were talking about earlier, like if you look back at this year, like what will stand out, And so when you're talking about these unforgettable experiences, like the retreats you're doing, just like, yeah, let's make some things happen because that's what life is about. Like I want to look back on a series of things like that. We're like, oh my gosh, remember when we all went to Bali or Fiji and just like had this experience, not just a vacation, but it's about the people, right? So yeah, we should definitely, marinate on that and figure it out. So
see what drops in. Because I do projects with my friends now. I literally dream ideas, and then I call them up and go, did you dream that too? Oh, I'll get an inspiration. I'll write it down in my book. And what I heard from a lot of the billionaires is it's spirit guided. It's like this essence, this connection, this space just invites us to a new possibility, a new thing. And then we just know.
Yep.
And then the resources, everything comes up to support that. And yeah, it's fascinating. Jesse sounds cool. Is that the guy you just mentioned? Could give him a shout out too.
Who's that?
Jesse, is that the guy you just said? Jesse that's doing the amazing stuff?
Oh, it's Josie.
Josie.
So that's Ken's daughter. So yeah, Ken is saying, Josie. Take me with you. Yeah.
And you just said a big entrepreneur that you are learning from at the moment. Said to be there for the precious moments, the experiences.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Alicia says, thank you guys. Beautiful insight into the magical beings that you are. Ken says, nice to meet you, Brock. Michelle, who's just, I already feel like a connection with Michelle. She just seems like such a sweetheart. So yeah, it's so awesome to see all of you.
Michelle is gorgeous. One thing I always do at the end of all the calls I do with people, put my hands up. And you see, you can put your hands up too if you like, Amy. I literally did this with a client in Melbourne a little while ago, and she did more in sales in the next day than she had in the previous 8 months. It blessed her. It's all the things we can do energetically for one another because we care about each other. Put our hands up, we bless each other, we look out for each other, and then we go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I love it.
That's fun. I look forward to seeing you soon. Everyone that jumped on, thanks for being here with us. Like I said, reach out to Amy if you feel a connection. She does some amazing things. She can share with you about that. But yeah, just have a look at what she's doing. Check out what I'm up to with the different things. And let's give them some love.
Yes. So give us some hearts. Give us some love. We want to hear from you. I'd love for you to, I still have been carefully not reaching my friend limit. So you can send me a friend request. We can be friends on Facebook and would love to connect and hear what you're up to in this world. So thank you for spending this time with us. What's that?
I'm gonna clean up my friends list even more. I've just made space. I've got 11 spots right now. I'm gonna delete like another 100 in the next 5 days. Just
nice. Yeah. I love when you do that. Just
or I'll just post about something controversial and then people will delete me. That seems to be the easiest way to do it.
Perfect. Then they can delete themselves. So process of elimination. So yeah.
Perfect. Thanks for being here with me today. I love the spontaneity. I look forward to when we connect next. Darren,
absolutely.
Find a little bit, and I'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye. Bye.